Was this the trigger for the violence that took place on the 5th? Joining me now, Saket Moon, you're the JNUSU Vice President. You tell me, now there is an admission also from your colleagues, many from the left union, that they damaged the server, blocked the server. What about their role? Should their role also be investigated? Already the police is saying that they have suspects from those responsible for the violence from the 1st to the 4th. So while our first part of the investigation has looked at the role of alleged ABVP activists, the second part is looking at left-leaning activists who also have much to answer.
See, first of all, I would say that the JNU students union never gave a call for, blocking the server room or doing a damage to it. Our call was for the boycott of registration process, just like it was for the boycott of the examinations, and it has been for the boycott of classes before that. And it is a voluntary boycott, and that is why when we gave that call on the 1st of January, we did general body meetings of hostels, of department, of centers, as we call them, of schools, and in that unanimously it was passed. And therefore, even now, I'll just tell you, the registration process is completely online. You can do it over email, something that no one can block. Even now,
did you block the servers? Yes or no? Did you all damage the servers? You are denying it. So here on tape, one of your activists saying they blocked the servers. You are denying it. Are you denying that between the 1st and 4th, and even till the 5th, till about 2 o'clock, there were activists of SFI, ISA, who were targeting ABVP activists, around 20 of whom claimed they suffered injuries? Yes or no?
First of all, the JNU students, I'm here on the behalf of the JNU students union. So from the union, first of all, no call for blocking the servers. It was a voluntary boycott. Secondly, it does not condone any violence whatsoever.
Was there violence? Was there violence against the ABVP activists of JNU between the 1st and 4th? Yes or no?
Not to the extent of my information, but if there is a charge of such, it has to be probed in the most free and fair manner. There has to be an impartial inquiry for that.
Very interestingly, Sidharth, the fact is that let us assume that this part of our investigation is showing that maybe activists on the left stopped the server. You are claiming some of your activists were also attacked between the 1st and 4th. Does any of that justify my first part of the investigation, where allegedly ABVP affiliated youth are saying we brought in virtually a private militia to teach them a lesson? These are the words. I'm going to use those words of Akshat Awasthi again. Those are the words. Hum dikhayenge कि ABVP में क्या ताकत है. Can you justify? Does one wrong justify the kind of violence?
No, definitely not, Rajdeep, and I'll decode it for you. First of all, when left says voluntary, you hear compulsory, because for them voluntary means beating up students. A voluntary call for boycott of examinations means whosoever goes for examination or registration, you beat them up. When they can have an option of online registration, you close that down. They have the ex-president also accepting it, but the JNUSU would not utter a word because they never do it, because they initially and every time they decide to do it. When it comes down to, I think it's very biased when in the initial comments only we come out and say that this is what triggered the violence. This is not what triggered the violence, Rajdeep. The violence was not triggered then. The violence was a continued firing which was happening before and which happened after. The violence was happening in the day, the violence is happening in the evening.
Mr. Yadav, you are denying the first part of our investigation but readily accepting the second.
Yes sir, definitely.
So the first part, so ABVP दूध से धुले हुए हैं, despite that activist is not linked to you, but anyone linked to the server is linked to the JNUSU.
हम दूध से धुले हुए हो नहीं हो, but आपकी investigation भी बिल्कुल दूध से धुली हुई इसलिए नहीं है, because the second part of your investigation has a JNUSU office bearer. First part of the investigation is God knows who.
Okay.
Someone who claims to be ABVP, but no office bearer, nothing doing.
Very quickly respond, Saket.
The former word is important here. Secondly, what she has said is in her individual capacity. Show me one statement of the JNU student union.
We have pictures of them sitting outside the server blocking it. Why not accept? You are claiming no physical violence was sanctioned by JNUSU.
No, never.
Right? So how were the ABVP activists also beaten up? Somebody must have done it.
Yeah.
You are accepting that?
If they were beaten up, somebody must have done it.
Yes, that you are accepting.
Yeah.
Then,
but how does it say that the left activist or someone from the JNUSU beat it up? How? Where is the evidence?
Sir, because the JNUSU is of ISA, SFI, DSF. These organizations, these are the organizations whose Geeta Kumari associated. Geeta Kumari, Aishi Ghosh, these are all activists.
Why
if they become the JNUSU president,
let me reply to
doesn't make them Dudh ka Dulhana.
Aishi and I drafted a message on the afternoon on the 5th, calling the police on campus, saying that there is a mob of masked assailants on campus with rods and lathis assembling at the administrative block.
Were you looking at the mirror while doing it?
That message, why would any criminal, if wants to do a criminal act, why would they inform the police that a criminal act is to be done?
Okay,
some mob is going to
that's
come
an,
and beat us up?
Vikram Singh, as I conclude, I have to ask you this. Look at what has happened. The police today has said that we suspect Aishi and a few others for the violence that took place between 1st and 4th. They keep silent on what happens on the 5th. What is the average person who's watching this program to presume? That the police is selective? It has different standards, that the Union Home Ministry has different standards, under which of course the Delhi police comes, for those who are responsible for the violence if they are linked to ABVP and if they are linked to SFI or ISA. Shouldn't there be similar standards for all?
The truth is very simple. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. When you have double standard that you seize no permission and enter the Jamia Millia and you wait for the affidavit of the Vice Chancellor, when it comes to JNU, your double standards are exposed in this court. Then the second place, how can you have double standards in respect of investigation if you have a tape that has to be accessed and every shred of evidence has to be collected together, pieced, and then in incontrovertible piece
Because
of
today
evidence.
they have put up photos of the alleged suspects, all linked to the left,
Right.
2 of them linked to the ABVP, but broadly suggesting it's the left which has done it all. So therefore the 5th violence
No,
is
sir,
becoming an area of darkness.
That is not the case, Rajdeep. I have a former DGP sitting with me. I would want to, with
You are
utmost
accepting that
respect,
DGP did the fifth
with
violence.
utmost
You are
respect,
accepting that.
Arre, sir, I'm saying something. No, with utmost respect, I'm asking him, how many cases have you solved in 5 days? If he can say.
I can say
Can
many
we
number of.
expect
I
this?
don't. But you at
Can
least
we expect this
your
from the police?
integrity of
It's a sensitive
investigation.
matter connected to
So
law.
why
And
do
we are
a
the
press
people-
conference in the middle?
And
Why then
your
do a press
integrity-
conference when you finish the investigation?
Because channels
You
are
cannot-
coming up with sting operations, and if the police is not coming out with anything, we have channels
don't.
coming out there
I
with
mean, the
vigilantes
police,
and
they don't.